And we help owners of small companies, and we define that from 1 to 25 employees. We help those owners get unstuck from a state of how. I doubt seriously whether there's a small business owner out there, Adam, that has a how question that we haven't personally experienced one way or another through these 15 years of working together, plus probably another 15, 20 years of owning companies, consulting, operating. We've seen an awful lot. We'd love to have somebody try to stump us. And when we say a how question, we aren't talking about how questions that relate to your particular product. So the technical aspects of your product, that's what you're an expert in. We tend to advise and do a very good job of helping companies put a marketing plan together to generate sales, to do the administrative part of the business, which includes your people part, your planning, your numbers. I'll bet you many, many people out there don't know how to read accounting statements or financial statements that they get off QuickBooks or get from their attorney during, or their CPA during tax season. And the overall planning of your company. Many don't have plans, and they like to say because it doesn't apply to their business, but really what they're saying is they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it efficiently. We have helped many people succeed, and we have a ton of fun doing it, don't we, Adam?
We do. We smile a lot, and we'll have new clients coming on board or prospects that we meet, and we smile, and they think that we're laughing at them. So we're not laughing. We're smiling because we know this is an issue you're bringing up, and you're almost embarrassed to talk about it. It's something that happens all the time. We spend a lot of time reassuring our clients and potential clients about things that they're wrestling with, that, hey, it's very, very common. Not just unique to you. You don't need to feel bad about it. You don't need to feel embarrassed about it. They're very, very common challenges. And that's part of what this show of Dirty Secrets of Small Business is all about, is to be able to kind of share and bring light to a lot of those things. And so we've been kind of discussing one of those hot questions here. And if you'd like to join in on that topic, you can reach us here live in the studio every Wednesday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And the number here is 440-946-9468, 440-946-WINT. And so the hot question we've been kind of batting around here a little bit is, how do you know when to fight or admit that you've made a mistake and maybe apologize? And so, no surprise, Jack's tendency is to fight, and his style is more of a D style in disc parlance. We talk about disc. Let me bring that up, right?
Yeah, what is
D? Is kind of that dominant, driving, demanding. Disc is a behavior assessment, DISC. And so D's like to fight. D's get energy from fighting, and they're often vilified or misunderstood in today's culture. People often will call them bullies or mean or abrasive or aggressive, and it's just their approach.
We know that. We know that's not true. We know
they're usually big teddy bears.
Lovable.
Yeah, they are. Once you get past all the bluster, right? But it's their style of how they go about approaching things, and they like to win. Even if they're wrong, they still like to win. Or if they aren't sure, they still like to win. So often in today's culture, if they're there, they'll be pushing, and they'll get their way just by threatening a fight or pushing you a little bit to kind of see, because most people will naturally back down. And this came to light for me very recently. We have a potential client that we're talking to, and it's hard to be a female in business, okay, in general. And often what happens is, depending on what they've been through, often there's times where they feel they're being disrespected by males because they're female. And so they're often their own worst enemy, and they'll try to talk themselves out of picking fights. This particular woman had every reason to push back on this guy who was kind of pushing her around a little bit, because he had no, other than blustering, he had no real reason to do it. And no matter how she presented the case she had was tremendous, to be able to present what she did in terms of what services that she provided, that this guy was making all kinds of claims that had nothing to do with reality, right? But yet, in spite of all that, where she had a great case, she was still really wanting to cave and not to fight, not to push back.
How come?
She was afraid of him saying bad things about her. Okay,
he's going to say bad things about her anyway.
I know.
Right?
I said, who cares? I go, if this guy's a bozo like that,
she should beat him to the punch. Say bad things about him.
We say bad things about him, but if he says bad things, people don't take it with tremendous credence. They know this guy's kind of a bozo, so whatever he says is doesn't carry much weight. The fact that he'd say bad things, that's one thing. She felt guilty of not being able to complete a project. Made great effort to make things happen, went above and beyond the call of duty, above and beyond what was asked for, and still didn't quite reach the finish line. But at some point, you just reach an impasse. The client starts to demand too much. They make too many changes to the project, and they keep moving along. They feel like, hey, we didn't agree to this, but yet you still go above and beyond. And so there's that inkling of, hey, I want to finish what I started. So that was part of it too. These are all more emotional reasons versus the rational being. So part of what we do, and this situation comes up a lot, where we're very objective. We're on the outside. Plus, we're very experienced, so we've seen many of these things before. And so part of what we try to do is help our clients grow a bit in situations like this. And the idea being, hey, there's times to really fight back when you're right. To your point earlier, Jack.
That's key. That's the key.
If you're right, there's almost a no-brainer. And in this case, it's a relatively small financial risk. This isn't $100,000 or $200,000 risk. It's maybe $5, $6, $8, $10,000 risk. And I said, look, from that standpoint, because you're right to make a point to push back on this guy, because most people will cower from him. I'd rather pay the lawyer that money than pay him the money.
That's right.
Just on a matter of principle.
That's how it should be. It shouldn't be just about money. It just shouldn't be. I don't know where in the world we've lost our principle and our way of justice, if you will. So many of these lawsuits don't involve anything that's going to end up going to court. It's going to get settled out somewhere along the line. Why in the world should you capitulate and agree to something that you know is wrong? Why should you do that? Please, if there's a listener out there to tell me why you should do that, and I understand money. I mean, believe me, I'm not stupid and I'm not crazy, and I don't have huge deep pockets that can fund multi-million-dollar deals here. But you should stop and think about what you're doing. And I would love to see things reversed in this country, where people are taking a look at a lawsuit or potential lawsuit and not capitulating because they're afraid they're going to lose money. They're going to lose. If you're going to lose, let's go down with the fight. My God, you're going to feel tremendous about it, and you'll move on with your life, and you're going to be more respected and feel good about yourself. It's the right way. It's the American way. I sound like a patriot here, but I think I am, especially in this situation.
So it can be hard for some people because it's not natural to fight. As I mentioned before, Jack's style being a D, Ds like to fight. They're the only style that really likes conflict that way. So the rest of us who aren't Ds will feel it in our gut. You're gonna feel it gnawing in your belly when the situation comes up where there's some conflict happening. You don't like it, and so you start to second guess yourself a little bit, wondering, hey, am I wrong? Even though
no question.
I know I'm right. I'm starting to question myself. So okay, so if you don't have somebody on the outside, or if you haven't been through it before, and you have to seize these opportunities to do it. And that's part of what I was talking to her about. I said, look, if you don't do this now, when the stakes get bigger, you're not going to do it, because this is such a small baby step in the grand scheme of things, right? You got to pick times to start to pick that fight and start to realize just how good you are, how strong you are, and see, it's to be able to test yourself. And you try to do it in ways that are, you aren't risking your livelihood here. This is not a life or death situation.
That's right. Very few are. That's right.
But it can almost seem that way, and you start to kind of worry about it and burden it, and it's there. So there's some opportunity cost when you start to have battles like this from the standpoint, hey, it's distracting energy here or there. At the end of the day, when you start to push back and fight back, usually what happens is people tend to go away. Or you find a settlement. It might just be financial, but that settles out and say, here's how we can agree that we're at an impasse. Here's how to be able for both of us to part ways and move away from each other.
Well, let me suggest this. If there are any listeners out here who disagree with us, if you think we should quickly settle lawsuits no matter what, give us a call. I'd like to debate that with you a little bit, because I don't think we should. I understand there's a monetary issue, but unfortunately it seems like the monetary issue is weighted 90% and everything else is weighted 10%. And I'm speaking generally, I know, but that's the way it seems. People don't take on that fight, and by God, they should.
That's right. So if you want to call in, the number here in the studio is 440-946-9468. Again, 440-946-WINT. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll keep talking about this. My name's Adam Sonnhalter.
And I'm Jack Mencini with Maximum Value Partners. We help owners of small businesses get unstuck from the state of how. We have a lot of how questions in our basket over here, and we'd like you to add a couple more if you want to. We'd love to have you part of the program.
Stay tuned for more Dirty Secrets of Small Business on Integrity Radio, WINT 1330 AM, the new 101.5 FM, and online at WINTradio.com.